Let him have it back.
So the Super Mario Bros. Movie has been out for about a week now, and I have to say, I'm a little shocked by it. And I don't mean shocked as in like, I'm surprised the movie was good, because in my opinion it was, but shocked about the post-credit scene in particular. Because I would have thought that Yoshi was actually going to be in the movie itself. But seeing as though they relegated him to being nothing more than a post-credit scene, it's like, oh, well, that's weird. And also, it's really weird when you think about it, how like DK was such a prominent character in this movie, and Yoshi just wasn't there. And I'm not saying anything like is wrong with DK being there. I actually thought he was one of my favorite characters within the movie. But still, like DK's never in any Mario games, and Yoshi's in just like almost every single one. Yet they decided, nah, save him for the sequel. But I guess this is really what this video is going to be about. It's going to be more so about me thinking of ideas of how they're going to use Yoshi and what the whole entire post-credit scene and mid-credit scene all really means. So, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on this video, and let me know in the comment section down below that you're enjoying the video, or that you enjoyed it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so firstly, let's talk about the mid-credit scene, then get to the post-credit scene with Yoshi. So the mid-credit scene was just Bowser playing the piano, singing Peaches, you know, the beautiful song, amazing song that's going to win an Oscar, hopefully. And we kind of get an indication here that this whole Bowser eating the mini mushroom thing, that's going to be a prolonged thing. Like, we're going to see that happen in the sequel, which, I mean, that's pretty obvious, but it leaves questions like, is Bowser still going to be the villain in the sequel? Now, I thought of a couple ideas of how they're going to kind of make this work, and one of them was that someone else among the Koopas, you know, Bowser's Koopa Troop, is going to have to take control. And that person I first thought of was Bowser Jr. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of you guys were saying in the comments of my previous video when I did like the Mario Review predictions video and stuff like that, you probably thought I was crazy in saying that Rosalina and Bowser Jr. were going to be the post and mid-credit scenes. I know, looking back at it, I'm kind of out of my mind. But even still, I don't think there really is anyone else who could take that mantle in becoming, you know, the top dog for Bowser's Koopa Troop. Now, my initial, I guess, thought was it would be the blue shell Koopa, you know, the spiny shell one. But I believe he's not here anymore. I believe after he had done, you know, getting Mario and DK blue shelled, I believe that was pretty much the end of his character, which is, in my opinion, pretty unfortunate. I really enjoyed this character and want to see more of him, but if that's the end of him, then I think the only person that could really step up now would be Bowser Jr. They have to bring him in somehow. And I definitely think there are ways it's going to work. And I think actually it'd be really cool because, like I said in my predictions video, having a character like Bowser Jr. just kind of appear out of nowhere would be so random for the characters. Like Mario, Peach, Luigi, and Toad, they're all like, wait, what? Bowser had a son this whole time and we never knew about him? Another possibility that I think could also work is using the Koopalings. Now, that is a lot of characters, and if they're probably going to do the same like length in terms of runtime in like an hour and 30 or so, there's a lot of moving pieces there. Even with the first Mario movie, which we just saw, there were a lot of pieces and characters got sidelined. Rest in peace to my boy Luigi. I wish you got more screen time, but hopefully the sequel, you get that. But either way, I think it's important to remember that someone is going to have to step up, and I really do believe that person will be Junior. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, Junior is that character, and let's say they call him in or whatever, like they're like, oh, let's have to bring Bowser's son in since, you know, he's the next in line and Bowser's not really here to control the Koopa Troop. So their entire objective is getting to the Mushroom Kingdom and getting Bowser free from that cage, and also making sure that he is, you know, unminied anymore. Like making sure that he's no longer mini Bowser, the bottle Bowser, as we saw here in some of the end credit scenes and also at the end of the movie. So I guess from there, we have to go talk about the post-credit scene, which is Yoshi, and how will he play a role. And I think it's really cool because he's in Brooklyn. I think that's something that really should be noted. So, you know, we saw his egg kind of crack at the end of the movie, and that just indicates that Yoshi is, you know, he's hatched. He's here. And with him in Brooklyn, I think the first people that are probably going to notice him are Mario and Luigi, considering at the end of the movie, we see that they still do jobs in Brooklyn as they just jumped into the warp pipe and headed on their way. So if Mario and Luigi are to see and encounter Yoshi first, I think there's going to be a lot of questions for them. I mean, Mario, I think, as far as we know, he knows what a Yoshi is, considering he was on Yoshi's Island, but he never actually looked at one. But going off the assumption that he knows what a Yoshi is, perhaps maybe his main goal will be like, okay, well, I don't know why you're here, but let's get you back home. So maybe the movie will take the Mario Brothers taking Yoshi back to Yoshi's Island, as we saw in Super Mario Bros. 3. Well, at least a similar concept where Mario was on Yoshi's Island with him and his brother. But here, it could be kind of like the same thing, but not quite. So then I guess the next question is, where do we go from there? If Mario and Luigi are taking Yoshi back to Yoshi's Island, what about characters like Princess Peach and Toad? What are they going to do? Well, I think the first thing Mario Brothers are going to do is they're going to head back to Princess Peach's castle and be like, yo, we actually are going to have to go on a little mission here to bring this Yoshi right back to his home. And I do want to address this before I go any further. I do not believe that Yoshi should have a voice. I don't think that there should be any actor, playing him. I think what they did at the end of the movie with him saying Yoshi is perfect, and I think he should communicate like that throughout the movie. I was talking about this with my brother a little while ago, and he suggested that Yoshi should function like Bullseye does in Toy Story, that entire franchise going from Toy Story 2 to Toy Story 4. That kind of character would be perfect for Yoshi because it's like, he's like a companion character to Mario and Luigi. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me saying this pretty early on, but having Yoshi speak in any capacity could be weird. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comments down below if you disagree or agree, but I really think Yoshi should just be saying, Yoshi, 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 and all that. And the characters, it'd be funny if, like, maybe they understood what he was saying, or they take the Super Mario Bros. Comic route, and the characters are completely baffled by everything Yoshi has to say, and they have no idea what he's saying. But, like, maybe the entire, like, conflict of the movie is, like, or at least a subplot could be, we don't understand Yoshi, and I don't know how we're going to find a way to understand him, but let's just bring him home anyway and hope that everything works out. And maybe Yoshi doesn't want to go home, but for whatever reason, Mario Brothers and Peach just can't figure that out. So I figure Peach and Toad would go on the adventure with Mario and Luigi to bring Yoshi back to the Yoshi Island, but while they're on that adventure there, they have no idea that Junior's on his way with the airship trying to get his father back with the Koopa troop. So while Peach, Mario, and Toad and Luigi are all gone, also with Yoshi, Bowser Jr. comes right on in and destroys the Mushroom Kingdom. And yeah, they get Bowser back and it's game on. So we're basically running up round 2, and I feel like that's the way the plot could possibly go. And I know your question is probably like, oh, where's DK gonna be in this movie? And I have thought about that, but I'm also not really sure. So I'm thinking that they may not even include DK in this movie because there was rumors a little while ago that he was gonna get his own spin-off movie. And I feel like if they have a DK-centered spin-off Donkey Kong Country movie kind of thing going on there, then I don't know if you really need him in this movie. I think you kind of can keep it with the core Mario group. I think the first Mario movie was a great way to introduce us to DK because DK basically started the Mario franchise, for lack of a better word. So having him kind of show up here makes a lot of sense, at least in the first movie. But in the sequel, with Yoshi being there and all of these other characters are going to use, I don't know. I don't really see that he needs to be there. And if he is there, I feel like he can only be there for like a short amount of time. Like, DK doesn't hang out in the Mushroom Kingdom or something, as long as we know anyway. So that would require them to go back to DK Island, retrieve DK just to return Yoshi. And that's not really necessary considering Yoshi's Island is much easier to get to in the movies than going all the way to the Kong Islands. Because I mean, the Yoshi's Island was there before the Kong Island was. Like, they got there before they got to Kong Islands. Why would they go backwards to go forwards? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's my basic plot for the Super Mario Bros. Movie sequel as far as the post-credit scene goes. That's my first, I guess, reaction to seeing Yoshi, being in Brooklyn and Bowser playing the piano while he's trapped in the cage with Buckenberry banging on his cage. That was pretty funny. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this plot is actually legit, or do you think that this movie's going to go in a completely different direction? At least in my opinion, I don't think they're going to go through like the video game route. I think the first movie kind of proved they're just going to do as much as they can at once and just see what sticks and what doesn't. Like, they're not going to do specific games like Super Mario 64 or, Sunshine. I think the closest we'll get to that is probably in like the third Super Mario Bros. Movie where there's going to be like a galaxy thing going on. I think that is definitely going to happen, at least at some point. Peach alluded to it in the first one, and Galaxy is such a big and most reputable Mario game aside from Mario Kart that I feel like at some point it just has to happen. And also, we saw Loom in the first one. But that said, thank you all again so much for watching. This is Sonic signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?